Welcome back. This is the third episode of a 4-part series. We are learning how to possess godlike power to manufacture more time, seemingly out of thin air. If you have yet to see the first 2 episodes, please pause this now and watch those first. Otherwise, this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense, okay? The links are below. We left off with calculating your time value. In the story of my friend Dave, his is $250 per hour. Then we had you identify all those things that you spend your 2,000 hours of work time per year, 40 per week, that is not worth paying somebody else your time value per hour to do. I'll continue the story of my guiding Dave. I said, now let's get to the money-making side. I said, let me ask you this. How do you make money? When do you get paid? When I sell real estate, when an escrow closes, he answered. Okay then, I said, let's find out exactly what you do to make it rain. The most important functions that drive the outcome of real estate being sold and an escrow closing. Now, for you listening to this story here, follow this line of questioning because a key point here will be, it's not the end transaction that typically is the rain-making activity. That's just the result. That's the rain. But to make it rain is usually a critical factor upstream, a function that the rainmaker performs that controls whether it rains downstream or there's a drought. So for Dave, since he primarily represents listings for him, it was when he secures a listing. So then I asked, where do your listings come from? He said from either a past client by referral, expired listings, or from marketing leads. So we figured out that his 3 vital functions, the 3 things that he does, the things that when he does them excellently, he sells real estate, escrows close, and he gets paid down the line. We identified that those 3 functions are 1, prospecting, whether calling past clients, talking to their referrals, or talking to pre-qualified prospects who come in from his marketing filters, not stuffing envelopes, posting on Facebook, or writing his blog, by the way. 2, doing listing presentations so that he can get more listings to sell. And 3, negotiating contracts so that he can get them into escrow and sold. So I explained everything else that you do that is not those 3 vital functions costs you money. You lose money every hour you are not doing one of those 3 things. He asked me the question you're probably asking in your head right now, which is, but how do you get everything else done? Because a lot of other things still need to get done. And that's exactly what he asked. This is when I told him about my friend Ken Fisher. Ken is on the Forbes 400 list, runs a $210 billion investment firm, and has a personal net worth of $7.2 billion with a B. Ken started at the bottom like the rest of us. He grew up where I did in the Bay Area of San Francisco. He then went to the not very Ivy League University of Humboldt State to study forestry, which in Humboldt can mean, well, never mind. He started his business, a financial advisory firm, like we all start a business, by himself at ground zero. When I interviewed him for Success Magazine years ago, I asked him how he did it. How did he go from a one-man firm to a $210 billion under management at the time firm? How did he go from a personal net worth of 0 to $7.2 billion? He said simply, by quitting. I learned how to quit. Now, his explanation of this is what really stuck with me, still does to this day, so pay close attention here. He said, quote, whatever you're doing in your business right now, your goal is to find a way to quit it. You need to stop doing almost everything you do at the office, end quote. During our interview, he saw that I was perplexed, as I'm sure you are now, so he explained further. He said, quote, once the founder has the vision, the key to succeeding on that vision is to delegate, and delegate as much as possible, as fast as possible. Delegation is a form of quitting. The fact is that even if you are the most well-rounded and capable founder, CEO of all time, you are still better off delegating functions to specialists, people who are better at specific roles. This allows you to multiply the size of your endeavor through other people's efforts rather than doing everything yourself. You want to give up every part of your job as fast as you can, end quote. Ken explained further. He said, look, when you first start a business, it's likely that you are going to have to do everything. You're going to have to do the sales, the customer service, the accounting, all the way down to taking out the trash. Your goal is to get the sales going, get enough money coming in so that you can quit taking out the trash and hire somebody else to do that. Get more sales going, then you can quit doing the accounting and hire a specialist to do that job. get more sales going, and you can quit doing the customer service too. There are people far better than you for that job. He said, you want to go from doing everything to doing nothing. Nothing but your few vital functions. Then maybe even nothing but playing the visionary founder role. He said, you only get there by quitting everything as fast as you can. The reason why people don't grow beyond themselves and have a business that flourishes while still enjoying a great life is that they never learn to quit. He concluded by saying, you want to turn labor into leadership. As the enterprise leader, you should not be doing any labor. You should be only leading the specialists who are doing the labor. This is brilliant advice. I really hope that you got that. And that was a profound epiphany for Dave when I shared Ken's story. While he kind of heard the general idea before, right there at the lunch table, it hit him, right between the eyes. He finally realized why he was so exhausted, failing his family and his health, and why he had started to hate his business for it. It wasn't the business, it was him and how he was choosing to operate. You see, the thing about Dave's situation is probably a lot like yours. Take note of this in your journal. Financial success without a life is not success, it's failure. You can have both. You can have financial success and a life if you learn to quit and you learn how to stick to your rain-making vital functions. And Dave finally got that right there at lunch with the sound of the crashing waves heard through the windows. When he called me 3 weeks later, while he had only hired a part-time virtual assistant in the Philippines to do a lot of his data entry and marketing pre-qualification processes, he said, just the understanding that his time needs to be worth $250 an hour has helped him make much better choices all throughout the day. He immediately saw how he was wasting time doing so many unnecessary things that he didn't have to do and didn't support his vital functions. In fact, things no one needed to do, but had fallen down the rabbit hole of doing anyway, which has been costing him so much time, potential, and life. He reported that now he has the time to work out. He's been on 3 date nights, home for dinner with the family 4 nights a week, and he's fallen back in love with his business because he's only doing the things that he's great at. And it's producing big results, which of course makes him feel great. He said, what's funny is the things that I hated to do, those things that were stressing me out and made me want to leave this business entirely, I found somebody else who loves to do those very same things. Everybody is happy, most especially my family, he said. So, do you have the key lessons that I imparted here? Number 1, find out how much you are worth hourly. Take your income goal, divide it by 2,000 to get your hourly rate. Number 2, identify how your business makes money or what you get paid for. Number 3, identify the critical factors upstream responsible for generating those results. And number 4, identify the few vital functions you contribute to making those critical factors happen. And number 5, make them happen so that you can start quitting everything else. Now, if you're sitting there with these questions still buzzing in your brain, but I'm not sure what my vital functions are, I still need more guidance, or I'm not sure exactly what things I should be doing and not be doing, what things I should delegate, how to delegate properly so I can trust somebody else finally to do as excellent of a job as I would, or how do I find specialists to do these other functions? Where do I find them? What should I pay them? How do I vet them? How do I train them? How do I manage and oversee them so that they're highly productive? Are any of those questions that you have? If you do, it is completely understandable. I would have had those questions back when as well, and it is why I distilled all the answers that I found into our Insane Productivity training. Inside, you'll get access to the entire Success Vital system, which will guide you through setting all this up and teaching you how to execute on all of this. It's there if you want the training. It's literally 25 years of my work compressed into a rich 12-module training curriculum, complete with all the tools and systems that you'll need. The choice to access it or not, entirely up to you. And I have one more important concept to share with you tomorrow on how to gain these godlike superpowers and manufacture for yourself more time. And now share with the community, what are your 3 vital functions and what do you need to start quitting? Tell us that in the comments below.